Monday, everyone. I hope you are doing amazing. If someone is sharing this with you, or if you just somehow landed here, my name is Susan Sly. I am an entrepreneur, a tech investor, a mom of 5 kids, and a business owner. And on Mondays, I come here to serve all of you. So if you're in business, if you're a professional, a doctor, an accountant, an attorney, if you are in the C-suite or an entrepreneur, solopreneur, that's who Bulletproof Monday is for. It doesn't mean you can't benefit, but I teach mindset techniques as they relate to business every single Monday. And so today I'm going to be teaching you a 5-step NLP process that will help you deliver better presentations, close more sales, and ultimately have better conversations. So hopefully you're excited about that. It's great to see all of you. Hey, Tammy from Ohio. Hey, Bruce. I'm so excited. Bruce, I just want to give you some love. You're so awesome. Kathy, it's great to see you. And Nancy, I do like to do shout outs. I know some people are like, I don't like when people do shout outs on live videos, but I love to do shout outs. So it's great to see you. And Nancy, West Virginia is so beautiful. We used to drive every year, take our kids to Florida, and we always drove through West Virginia. So it's such a gorgeous country. It's great to see all of you. And hey, Sonia from BC. So let's get started. I want to just encourage you, if you are watching this live or on YouTube or wherever you're listening in a podcast, you're going to want to grab a pen. On my website, I also have this in a PDF document. So if you go to susansly.com, you can get the perfect presentation document. You can download it. So everything I'm going to be talking about today is there. So you can check it out. It's available for all of you. And so with that, let's get started. So have you ever had that feeling you're going into a meeting, or maybe you've been asked to do a presentation, maybe it's at Toastmasters or a networking group or something, or maybe you're presenting in front of a board of directors, or you've got a pitch for a new potential client and you get the butterflies in your stomach, you're feeling like a bit nervous, how is it going to go? And you really, really want to have the best outcome. And so you go and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to really prepare for this. I'm going to do my research, and you come up with this amazing speech, and you get there and it's all these blank faces and people look bored and they're checking their phone and they're getting caffeinated and they're not paying attention, and you're like, oh my gosh, where did I go wrong? Well, it happens to the best of us. And I'm going to take you back in a time machine. So the year was, it was 2002. And I had my beautiful son, AJ, and I was building a business, and I was asked to come speak at a chiropractor's office. So I really researched. I was doing a talk in nutrition, and it was in the beaches area of Toronto. If you know anything about that area, it's so beautiful there. Gorgeous lakefront and all these beautiful beaches and cafes and just this really hip, cool area. So I, planned what I was going to wear. I planned what I was going to say. I researched all these nutrients and all the scientific stuff. And I was bringing along my baby because I didn't have any babysitting. So I was doing what I needed to do. And so I go there and I go to do my talk, and I'm like, this is going to be so good. I'm going to nail this. And afterwards, this woman came up to me, someone I deeply respected, an attorney actually. And she said, Susan, that was the worst talk I have ever seen, and you should never speak in front of people again. And I was devastated, and I just went, oh, okay, all right, thank you. And I went to my car and I put my little son in his car seat, and I actually cried all the way home. It was about a 45-minute drive, and I was just in tears. And I was like, I'm never going to speak in front of people again. And what's that word you say to yourself when things aren't going well? Like what I do, I'm going actually to do a talk in the UK in June, and I'm ending with this process. And one of the things is, when things aren't going well, there's that one thing you say to yourself, that one word you say. So I said that word to myself. I'm like, I'm never going to speak in front of people again. And that lasted about 12 hours. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to make a commitment to get better, because and go ahead, write this down. In the face of challenge, you can give up or you can get better. right? And sometimes in the face of challenge, we do all sorts of things. We gossip about people, we make up nonsense, we tell ourselves stories, we, binge eat, we do all sorts of things that aren't healthy for us. But one of the things is that in the face of challenge, you have to figure out a way to get better. Because here's what I believe for you. I believe that you're destined for greatness, and greatness may just be being a better grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, sister, brother, son, daughter. It might be getting to that next level for whatever it is in your business, or it could be getting a promotion, or getting a different job, or growing your business, whatever it is. I believe you're destined for greatness. I believe that you're created for more. I believe that we're all capable of more, and we all play small at times. And if we're not challenged, how are we ever going to get better? It's the whole story of the diamond, right? It's, you squeeze coal and compress it hard enough, and eventually there's going to be a diamond there. It's the same thing for all of us, that whether it's public speaking or closing sales or whatever it is, within us all, there's that beautiful diamond. And sometimes to get to that diamond, you've got to have a lot of pressure. And so one of the things that helps us alleviate pressure is certainty. And when you are certain that something is going to work, there's a formula for it, or let's say a recipe, that's when you have that outcome. And so I learned very quickly that I would need to get better, because almost every single business, the following is true. The person at the front of the room is the person that makes the most money. So the person on the stage, the person who's doing the presentation, they're usually the one who's in command and control. So I learned very quickly I would have to get better if I was going to achieve my goals, and to be able to have more freedom in my life, and stay at home with my kids, and build a business, and do all the things that I wanted to do. So I began to study neuro-linguistic programming, and one of the great NLP trainers, facilitators of all time is Tony Robbins. He was mentored by the founders of NLP. I came out of the school that was the Bandler School, so it was one of the founders who had trained Tony. And so I am certified in NLP myself. I spent 5 years training with an NLP master, did my certifications. And, again, I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm not here to preach at you on these Bulletproof Mondays, but I do have some of the formulas. And so, one of the things I want you to think about with NLP, there are different formulas. It's almost like a recipe. And so to give you an example, Mother's Day is coming. I said to my husband, I don't need gifts or whatever, but homemade cards from the kids. And he makes this amazing carrot cake that is ridiculously good. It's gluten-free, it's organic, and he has a recipe that he follows. And if he follows that recipe, he's going to make this carrot cake that I love. Now, if I follow the recipe, chances are I'm going to come out with a very similar product. And it's the same thing for all of you, that if you begin to follow this particular formula in your presentations, I can promise you the results are going to get better and better, especially as you commit to that level of excellence. So when we're looking at doing any kind of presentation, whether someone says, hey, last minute, I can't do this presentation at this networking group, can you go and do it for me? Or you're doing a Facebook Live, or whatever it is that you need to do in order to promote your business, sometimes, again, that can feel so daunting. So I'm going to go through the formula, and first I'm going to tell you a story of the power of the formula. So I was asked, hey, Nina, it's great to see you. And I'm about to give the recipe. And thanks, Laura. I'll see if I can get Chris to share that recipe. So I was asked at an event in Las Vegas, there were thousands of people there, to sell tickets for the next event. And so I said to the organizers, I said, I'm honored. I would love to do that. Are you sure you really want me to sell it? They were like, yes, we really want you to sell it. I said, okay. I said, I need this much time, which wasn't a lot of time. And I said, they were bringing me up with another presenter. I said to her, I said, listen, I need this much time in order to do it, and to represent the company and to sell their event and so on. So anyway, I prepared the formula as I'm about to share with you. And it was so successful that not only were ticket sales incredible, it actually broke the company's their back office system, and it shut it down because so many people at one time were buying tickets. And so I'll share with you the formula. And as I always say with NLP, use your superpowers for good. If you're interested in NLP, I am teaching a 4-week course starting this Wednesday. You can go to susansly.com and register. It is a business course. So I teach you how to negotiate with difficult people. I teach you how to use NLP on yourself to get in the right mindset. I teach you, we do a deeper dive into the PPF, I call it Perfect Presentation Formula, and so much more. I teach you how to work with other people, be a better leader using NLP techniques. So you can check it out on SusanSly.com. So let's get started. The first step in the Perfect Presentation Formula is this: what are the universal problems that people can relate to? So people in your audience, what are the universal problems that people can relate to? And to give you an example, I'm going into a tech meeting in 2 weeks. Now, as some of you may know, I am president of an artificial intelligence company. So I go to a lot of meetings that are very deep in the technical realm. We're talking about CPUs, VPUs, analytics, AI, deep learning, robotics, like all sorts of things, and which is awesome and it's fun, and I'm such a geek. I love it. But you know, I go into meetings where it's me and a bunch of PhDs who are super smart in these areas. And so how do I start out a meeting when I don't have a PhD, you know, in physics or something like that, or math? I do have a degree. It's a science degree, but it's not in math. So how do I go through this same formula, even though it's an area that I don't have a massive conscious competency in? So I use it for that as well. So when you're understanding the problems people can relate to, it takes you from a place where it's you just talking at people to bringing people alongside of you. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Just say yes. So step one, what are universal problems people can relate to? So let's say, as an example, I'm Nina and she's in a health business and she's doing a presentation and she wants to promote her health business. So instead of saying like, hi, I'm Nina and I have an amazing product line that can help you lose weight and feel great, she would say something like this: you know how. So 3 keywords: you know how. So what this does from an NLP perspective, it triggers someone's neurology. So taking them from this place of, oh, what's she going to try and sell me, to stemming them. It's called stemming them, neurologically stimulating them to really contemplate the you know how. So she might say this: you know how summer's coming and we're starting to, wear shorts and tank tops, and, some people might be looking in the mirror and going, oh, gained a little weight over the winter, or just not feeling the way I want to coming into summer. It happens to all of us. And so people start nodding because they can relate to this. The best stage trainers in the world, the best salespeople, they totally understand this step number 1, you know how. In a business meeting where I might be going in and say talking about technology, I might start it like this. So me, all the PhDs, I might say something like this: you know how we have this amazing product that is going to help a lot of people, and the average person doesn't have a PhD from Carnegie Mellon. So and they're like, oh, so we're going to figure out a way to simplify our message. So it's just bringing people into the conversation so there's more engagement. Okay, so what are the common problems that people can relate to? You do want to speak to people's pain. So in your business, what are some pain points that people can relate to? Is it stress? Is it exhaustion? Is it, maybe they're tired parents, or maybe it's kids on the spectrum and you're having a conversation because one of my friends, Jessica, is an autism consultant. Maybe it's about that. Whatever it is. Step number 2, what are other solutions that do not work? So you never want to put a person down or a company down, a specific naming names. You never want to do that. But what are other things that don't work? So in the case of Nina's company, so you might say something like this. You might say, well, maybe you've tried diets. Maybe you've taken diet pills. Maybe you've joined a gym. You could be funny. You've joined a gym and hired a personal trainer and canceled every session, or joined a gym and never used it. Or maybe at 2 a.m. you ordered exercise equipment that's now a clothes rack in your laundry room. And people will laugh and they'll go, oh my gosh, he gets me, she gets me. Oh my gosh, they totally understand. That's exactly what I did. So you're pointing out other things that they might have tried that didn't work. Okay, so in the tech world, I might say to the team, I might go, okay, so we tried doing spreadsheets and we tried doing models, but now we have to sell to people who don't have a technical background, right? So they'll go, oh yeah, okay, got it. Step number 3, what is your solution and why does it work? So now we've talked about the problem. We've talked about other things that don't work and why is our solution different and how does it work? So Nina might say something like this, well, my solution, what I do is I actually help people detoxify their bodies so that they can have more energy and feel amazing. And it's not a diet. It's just, it's a restart for the body. It's so different. She might say something like that. If you're as an example, let's say you're a surgeon, you might say, well, at my clinic, one of my clients is a surgeon. So I'll just give this example. So at my clinic, what you don't see is that we put in almost 10 hours of pre-surgical prep, going over the patient, going over the history. Our post-op care is second to none. So now you talk about what makes you different. And this is not a time to be shy. This is a time to be bold. Remember, you're not putting anyone or any business down to make yourself look better. What you're doing is you're actually building yourself up. And I know for some of you that's really, really hard, but this is okay at this point. So, coming from this place, what makes this different? And then the fourth step is the evidence. It's so important to provide evidence. So evidence can come in the form of data. It can come in the form of reviews. This is quantifiable evidence. So, I ran a challenge group for one of my companies that is in the nutritional space. And so the challenge group, I was able to say 88% of our respondents broke a plateau their first week. And that was pure data. So what made this different? 88% of our participants broke a plateau their first week. That's real data. And then the fifth step is a story. And in this step, you want to provide anecdotal evidence. So it could be your own story. It could be, ideally, it's a client or customer story, someone who became a raving fan. And so, let me just share a story. This person followed my advice and this was the result they had, right? And even when I teach NLP, the last time I taught it live, this guy came up to me and he said, Susan, I'm going to go home and my wife and I are going through a really tough time. We don't know if we're going to make it. Even though this was a business class, I'm going to use this PPF. I'm going to use this on my marriage. And he sent me a message and he's like, we're stronger than ever now, right? Because instead of going home and sort of saying things the way he'd been saying them, he used the perfect presentation formula. And I'll give you an example of what he said, and it went like this. Here are all 5 steps. See if you can pick them out. Honey, you know how we're both working and we have kids and sometimes we're tired and I know when I come home you don't always get the best of me, and so we pour a glass of wine and we watch Netflix and that's all well and good, but it isn't bringing us closer. And so what I'd like to propose is we start doing a date night at least once a month and we get that connection back. Because here's the thing, when we were doing date nights, we were a lot happier. And in fact, the kids were a lot happier. And I look at our photos and we were just smiling more. And, I can tell you, honey, that some of the best memories for the last couple of years for me have been during those date nights. So he used all 5 steps. And so again, you can use this PPF, you can use it in any area of your life. And so hopefully, if this has been helpful, I would love to read your comments. I do read all of your comments by all means. If you're commenting in real time, sometimes it doesn't come through as fast and lots of people commenting and scrolling, but I will go back and read your comments. If this has been helpful, please share it. If you're listening on iTunes, give it a 5-star review. I'd love that. If you would like the document of this, just go to susansly.com. There is a presentation document there, a white paper, and you can download it. If you are interested in working with me for 4 weeks in NLP for Business, go to susansly.com. I would love to work with you. It is awesome. Every week you're going to get homework. I do record the classes, so if you can't be on live, you'll get the recording. We have people who have taken it from Australia, from the UK. I think one gal was even in Brazil while she was taking it. We dealt with time zones, Canada, US, obviously. But anyway, check it out, susansly.com. I only teach it once a year, and this might be the last time I teach it live. So I am very passionate about really helping you succeed and grow and go to the next level. And I understand that life and business isn't always easy, and that's why it's so important to me that you become bulletproof. So with that, God bless. Go out there and rock your day, and I will see you next time.